Yeah, and it looks so good, but behind everything like I have accomplished now, I also received a lot of no's. Like I got rejected a million times, but as I always say, like it's not rejection, it's
Yeah.
redirection.
Yeah.
So that I feel like maybe they rejected this time, but then so what happened one time actually, like I think this is a perfect example. Was like they said no to a casting, and I was really sad. I really, really wanted to walk for that show,
Right.
but they invited me as like an influencer to go and watch it, and I was front row, and it was amazing. And I met a lot of people that day. And if I would have walked, I never would have met them. And it was so important that I met them that day. So I feel like that was the reason why.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast of Zen and Now, the show where we explore a world of wellness, mental health and healthy living. Today we have a very special guest, someone who at the tender age of 18 has already made a name for herself as a fashion influencer and a runway model. Please help me welcome Bridget Jimeno. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So Bridget, can you just give us a little bit of a background into your upbringing, where you're from, and how you came to Canada and how you got into fashion?
Yeah, so I moved to Toronto about a year and a half ago, but I'm originally from Guatemala, born and raised. I lived there for my whole life. So I feel like moving here is very different, but I feel like that's also what helped me change what I'm doing to what I'm doing now. So I first started as a ballerina, and that's what I thought I was going to do for my whole life, for at least the last 13 years. I did ballet and almost any kind of dance, to be honest. And then I transitioned into fashion and all of that when I moved to Cancun. I lived there for maybe like 2 years before I came to Toronto.
Oh, okay. So you said you lived in Cancun. Was that out of choice, or was that because you moved for family reasons?
So my mom wanted to see us because she was doing all the paperwork here in Toronto. So she wasn't able to go back to Guatemala because there was like COVID and all of that. So the easiest way was to go to Mexico. So we all went there just for a vacation for a month, and then we extended it for 2 years, almost 2 years. And then that's almost how it happened. We just wanted to stay there while we got like the visa and all of that.
Right.
So.
And how did it feel like being away from your mom and parents, and how did you feel?
Kind of weird, but at the same, because I was so used to living just with my mom.
Okay.
And like visiting my dad, but it was like it was all the way around. So I was living with my dad, and it was like a new experience. So I guess it was like also nice to connect more with my dad because I lived with him for a while, and I did miss my mom a lot. But I think like I had so much going on that like I didn't really felt like that absence because I was talking to her all the time, and I was still with all my siblings. So it was like it wasn't bad, but I did miss her a lot.
Yeah, I know. I like speaking to her before like you guys came over. For listeners who don't know, it's Carolina Janinova's daughter. She was on my previous episodes, so check it out as well. So yeah, just talking to her as well when we met her, like she was super stressed about getting you guys over. And, like it was also lonely for her, I think. But now you guys coming over, I think everyone is happy.
Yeah, we are. I feel like it was worth the wait, definitely.
Yeah, I know at times it gets anxious when you're in that moment. I think, but when everything happens, when it should, I think you feel a sense of relief, right?
Yeah, it is honestly so worth everything.
Right.
We went through.
So going back to like ballet, what made you fall in love with ballet, and how did you when ballet? You said you had an injury, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Was it like a serious injury that made you stop ballet?
Yeah. So it was like something that got worse with time. So I started ballet when I was very young. I was like maybe 3, 4 years old. I honestly didn't thought much of it, but that was like my whole life almost. Like I didn't try any other sport because I was like so into that, and I was also really good. So I feel like that also makes you love the sport more.
Right.
Because every time I had a challenge, I would always overcome it really fast, and I always had like this gift where I was like very flexible, and I was like the example for many young girls. Even though I was young too, but like the little girls always wanted to do what I was doing, so it was like very nice to see that as well. So after being in that academy for a pretty long time, I moved to Cancun, but like I didn't have the chance to really say goodbye or like do like a proper like to properly
Yeah.
say goodbye. Yeah,
Like a proper
because
adios. Yeah.
it's like I was supposed to go for just 1 month and I didn't go back until this year. So it was like 3 years that I didn't talk to them at all. I just left. I feel kind of bad, but I feel like there was so much going on. I just feel like I was starting again. But when I started doing ballet and dance again in Cancun, I went to an academy as well. It was really weird because like what I liked about it was I had my friends. So I made new friends
Right.
and everyone was really nice, honestly. And I saw a lot of like better dancers, so that also made me better because when I was there, I feel like I was always the best one. And when I went to Cancun, like there were other people that were like a little better than me or in my same level. So that was also like good for to challenge myself,
Right.
not to always stay in that comfort zone in the sense.
Right.
Well, and throughout all of that time that I was dancing, I constantly, my knee was like dislocating. It's so like my knee will like pop out and come back. Like it was really fast and it was very painful every single time. But I feel like it happened many times. Like
Right.
it was
Did you
often
see?
like so I,
Did you see like any specialist for it or?
honestly, I did tell my dad and my mom, but they never believed in me. They always say like, "No, you're just really having a cramp. It's not that bad." And they just never actually trusted like it was real because they thought I was just exaggerating to get attention or something. I don't know. They never really took me seriously whenever I told them about that. So what I used to do was I put like some like kneecaps, I think it's called, just to like have that security, and that always helped. But whenever it was a show or I had to do rehearsals, I couldn't wear them because of like the costume. It had tights and it could get stuck, and I would like rip them off. So I was had to be careful, like to with the costumes and all of that. So that it usually happened when I was not using them, but it still happened in ballet. It usually happened, and little by little, it just kept getting like a little bit worse until it got into my other knee because it was always on the left knee.
So
And
it
then it
started
happened.
compensating. Yeah, it started to like.
Yeah.
Your
So
stronger knee
like,
started to take a lot of the pressure. I mean, a lot of the support from the one that was weaker.
the day that it all happened. It was the day of the show, so it was what I worked this whole time for, like 3 months preparation every day, like almost 3 hours a day, just doing rehearsals. And then that day I was in my second dance because I was doing like 4 dances in the show. So in the second dance, I did a trick and my knee popped out, but it didn't come back that time. Like
Oh,
it just so my kneecap just was dislocated and it stayed like that, and it didn't come back that time because I guess like so many times happened, like it reached like the lip. So then I didn't know what to do. I was trying to tell everyone, but I didn't want to like make a scene, so I was trying just to be like smooth in a way. But it was so horrible, and I feel like that memory still like it's so vivid in my head. Like I feel like I can relive it every time
Right.
I think about it. But I feel like it's been 2 years already, so I feel like I'm already in peace.
Oh, so it's still fresh. Like it's still very very new. So do you have like any do you have any like issues with it now, or are you okay with it now? It's much better.
I feel like sometimes, like whenever I see videos of me dancing or I see someone dancing, I get really anxious. Like I get like, whenever I see shows or ballet or they do something,
Right.
like I feel like that's gonna happen to them. So it's like it gets me anxious. Like, oh, what if that happens to them? Like it's scary.
Yeah.
But after that, like a doctor came like 10 minutes after, and that was really bad for me because it got really, really like
swollen.
yeah, it was just terrible. for it because of that amount of time that I was waiting to put it back.
Yeah.
I guess. And then I just went to a doctor. They put me like they put something for my leg so I can like move it. I'm not sure what the name of that is. And then I came home and I was crying the whole way.
Sure.
I was just full on crying every single day. I was so like I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And I feel like I couldn't walk. So I was like, if I can't walk right now, how far is it gonna be to dance?
Right. Right.
And then it kind of went through like that for maybe a week of just staying, like doing a lot of like, well, just resting a lot.
Yeah.
And then my mom called like a physiotherapist, and she was my savior. She was like everything to me because she was also very wise. Like she was very smart. So
Right.
not only that she was like really good at what she had to do, which I needed to do like electro.
Oh, electrolysis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes they would put like little like needles.
Needles. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they will move them, or they will put like the electricity in the needle, stuff like that. It was horrible. I was always like this whenever they were doing it because I can't see.
Right.
But it was like also like painful. Like it was always like physically and mentally very hard for me to like overcome all of that. But I managed to do it, which is great. And after that, I remember like the first time I was able to walk. It was so weird. I couldn't do it. Like so, it's kind of weird how I couldn't walk, and then now almost what I do is walk in a different way. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
So
Yeah.
it's weird the way the universe works, eh?
Yeah, I do think, yeah.
No, but kudos to you for not giving up and just pursuing another dream that you've always had. I'm pretty sure like you had fashion on the other side of ballet.
Yeah.
But you had full focus on ballet. Yeah. At the
I
time.
always wanted to do like the cute outfits
Yeah.
for them. Like I always had like that fashion sense, but didn't take it like as serious as I took it now.
Right. Right. Do you have any like fond memories of ballet? Something that you take with you now in your new passion?
Yeah, I think like the posture, and not only like the posture and being able to control your body in a sense.
Right.
Like if I see a video of me walking and I know how to like put my fingers like this and I'll put like
Right.
all over the place, like I know very well how to control my body in a way.
Right. So
like,
ballet gave you some of like the foundations for what
I
you do
think
now.
that helps a lot.
Right.
Because if I can do different types of walks because of ballet, because like people find it kind of harder to do like a certain type of walk which is like more aggressive and stuff like that, because it's hard for them to move their body in that like coordination, because you need to do like a bunch of stuff at the same time for it to look good. It looks like so easy until you do it, to be honest.
It gives you a bit of grace as well, like grace and poise when you're walking as well. And I think also it gives you a bunch of a wider range to work with.
Yeah,
Compared
I think
to
also like
the
being on stage is also less scary.
Right.
Because when I used to dance, I had to remember the whole choreography and make sure the tricks were right.
Right.
I didn't trip, or I didn't, miss where I was supposed to be standing. And here I just need to walk pose.
Yeah.
And it's a lot different, but it definitely helped with like all like the nerves of going on stage.
How did you cope mentally with that? With your knee injury, and then
I feel like when that happened, I was just like very depressed. Honestly, I don't know. It was so hard. Like when people came to visit, they would make me feel like even worse, because they were like, "I'm so sorry for you," or like they were like treating me like if I died for a second. So it was like it felt really weird, but it was really hard, like whenever no one was around too, because my brother was away because he was in a soccer tournament in Europe, and my mom, of course, like she was working all the time, so I didn't really have anyone to be with me. So I was pretty much like dealing it with like myself. I didn't have any sort of like support more than myself. And whenever my physiotherapist came, that's what helped me, because I was talking to her about how I was feeling, and she was like, "No, but like you're gonna be fine." She just told me a lot of like good advices of life, and she was very sweet. So I
Right.
think she was like one of the reasons why I was able to overcome all of that like sadness, and like I was also really angry at myself. Like I don't know if I just cut off, but I was pretty angry at myself too. Like it was like a mix of both because I was like, "Oh, this is your fault. You should be more careful." Like I was always judging me for what
Yeah.
happened.
You went
But
through the 5 stages of grief. Oh.
yeah, I definitely did.
Before we continue with today's episode, if you're enjoying it, if I could ask you for a small favor, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It will not only help the channel grow, but it will also allow me to bring you a lot more guests and a lot more experiences. Thank you. Back to the show. Where are you now mentally? Are you much in a much calmer space? Are you much positive space in mind
Yeah,
right now?
I am. I feel like I completely changed
Right.
in these 2 years, and I also feel like whenever I was learning something, it was always in English. So I feel like I reinvented myself when I came here because everything that I saw is in English, and now I talk English as like almost my first language, even though Spanish is my first language. It's like transitioning to that also made me feel like, okay, I can build a new me that's not sad about this, but I can make something out of it. It's not just like
Right.
looking at bad things, but I also really always say like it wasn't like rejection, it's a redirection. So whenever I say that, it just makes me think about if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am right now, I think.
Yeah. We have to go through something to bring us to where we are.
Yeah.
What did they say? Go. It's one of the sayings. I can't really get it right now, but it's something about growing. Growing
Mhm.
as a person when you go through trauma or you go through a traumatic event. I do believe you speak a bit of French as well, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of bad, honestly.
Hey, that's more than many people. So,
Yeah.
so does languages also help you? In your everyday life or in your when you're doing shows and you kind of like need to communicate with other people. Does having
Yeah, 'cause no one really talks English, like Spanish, but they understood like something Spanish by accident. But so it's like it was at first kind of hard because I'm not socially in English. Like I don't know much. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk that well. But then it was fine. And whenever I find someone that talks Spanish, we connect even more. So it's also like I never really saw it as a barrier because I always liked talking English for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like it's kind of fun to talk another language and to be another version of you.
Yeah. It's good to learn. It's good to have different perspectives as well. When you chat to people also in their vernacular, you get a different perspective from them. Like I know sometimes you get when you're speaking to somebody in not their first language, some of the conversation gets lost in translation a bit.
Yeah.
Like fluent in a specific language, you can get a bit of a more fluent conversation going.
Yeah, and I never really have much of like a barrier between like languages, but
Right.
whenever someone's from another place and they don't speak it that well, I completely get it because I was there first, like too. So it also helps a lot. Yeah.
Amazing. So I want to talk about your transition from ballet to fashion to being a runway model. Like what was the moment that made you decide, okay, this is where I want to be, or this is where I want to go?
Yeah, I remember that moment perfectly. I feel like it was so after my degree, a lot of time passes, and my mom got invited to a fashion show, and there was this photographer. He was a bit of like a creep kind of guy, but it was okay. I realized later on. But when I was there, he was like, "Oh, let me take some pictures of you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like that never happened before, so I was like very excited. Oh yeah, so this photographer wanted to take a picture, and I kind of posed. My mom took some like video of like the backstage or what it looked like, and I was like, "Wait, is that me?" Like I looked really like confident, like very different. So that day I was like, maybe I should do this. like the pictures turned out great. I look great.
Right.
So, and also like my stepfather was like, I think you have something, like you have potential in this. Like, I think you should try to pursue it like a little bit more seriously. And then like I started like a secret TikTok account, posting like outfits. Like whenever I went to Zara, I will find this cute dress and I will post it. And that's what my first viral video was. It had like 500,000 views. For me, it was like insane. I was like, wow, this is really great. And I didn't grow as many followers like that fast, but I was having views. So I was like very excited. And that's when I was like, okay, maybe I should do more of this. And I will just post like more like aesthetically videos of whenever I traveled or whenever I went to a restaurant, and just like nothing related to modeling or doing walks, to be honest. But that then when I moved here, I remember I think I went to a casting, but never posted anything about my walks ever. So I went to a casting, but I was like, oh, this looks like really good, and I posted like my progress like before and after of my walk, because I had to do like online casting, so I had to send a video, and that one went like a little bit viral. It had like 20,000, and I was like, oh my god, I should post more.
Yeah.
And then I posted more and more, but like time to time. But I realized like, okay, every time I post walking, it has views every single time. So I started to do it like just that, and that's when I grew like this. I had 5,000 followers in November, and I was like, okay, by December I'm gonna have 10K, and I was like, no, that's insane. Like, how is that gonna happen? But I was just like, maybe, just maybe. What made me grow? So that was like where I needed to be. So I went to a lot of like shows. I met so many people, and that also really helped with like getting more shows and getting connections. Like really be open to talk to everyone, and really getting the work to get where you want to be, because it's not as easy as it looks, to be honest. Like I really was doing everything by myself, and it was just like the biggest support in a sense was my mom, because she was the one who would take me everywhere. Because if I didn't have anywhere to go, like how was I supposed to get there without my mom? So I feel like she was just there to give me support and to just like be there. And I'll always bring her to events. So that's also a way like she got to meet a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
And after that,
it's building your network, right?
Sorry?
I say it's building your network. It's just building up those connections for future castings, and like just to grow your brand.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very important too. Like if you are going out, you need to talk to everyone and really be like open to know the person as well. Like sometimes you will see like, oh, I need to network because I need connections, but sometimes it's like you want to genuinely meet people, just because I feel like that also fulfills me in a way, to talk to people and be social, which is so different from myself before, because I was very introverted. I never talked to anyone in school, and I was like, I had very few friends. I was very like that when I was 4, so that's when I say like I reinvented myself, because I so different to when I was young. But going back to that, like I started posting more walks, and then one day one video got 12 million views, which is insane.
Yeah, that's
insane. And from that I got like 40,000 followers just from that video.
Wow.
And then I was like, no, by June I'm gonna have 100K. And once I grew that like in 6 months, when it took me 2 years to get to 5,000.
I need to hire you to grow my brand. Get my numbers up.
Yeah, it was like, and now I help other people build their brands as well.
But you're saying like, just amazing, like how, just by you being yourself, you started helping others, right? Like gain that self-confidence. Like I know myself as well, like go through those stages in life where you like super conscious, you like so like an introvert, you don't want to like talk to anybody, you're like afraid to like express yourself, and then in a moment something happens in your life, and you truly then shine. Your personality comes out, your self-confidence starts to rise, and that in itself like starts to mentally and physically start to better yourself. So I think where you, like you said, there's moments in our life that just trigger that self-confidence, and you just start to shine, and you just start to like be this person that you never thought you'd ever be.
Yeah, and it looks so good, but behind everything like I have accomplished now, I also received a lot of no's. Like I got rejected a million times, but as I always say, like it's not rejection, it's
Yeah.
redirection.
Yeah.
So that I feel like maybe they rejected this time, but then so what happened one time actually, like I think this is a perfect example, was like they said no to a casting and I was really sad. I really, really wanted to walk for that show.
Right.
But they invited me as like an influencer to go and watch it, and I was front row, and it was amazing. And I met a lot of people that day. And if I would have walked, I never would have met them. And it was so important that I met them that day. So I feel like that was the reason why I didn't walk that day, and I attended instead. So that's kind of what I liked about what I do, is that I kind of go on both roles. It's not just I'm just gonna stick on being an influencer and just going front row and just watch the shows, but I also like to being able to walk in them and see what's behind it. So I love to be able to see both parts of that world.
Right. And how does it feel when you're like on the runway and you know, just being you? How does it feel?
I feel like it's nice whenever they let you be you, because sometimes they want you to do like slower walk or do specific things. So you have to like fit that what they want with being yourself. But whenever they fully let you be, it's like the nicest feeling. So it's really, really nice. Like it's like I don't even know how to explain it, but it's really nice to like go and just shine and see everyone there and look at the camera and shine. But I think it's like also like you get into a certain like
So
you just close your eyes and then you're like into like that model mood, and then you after that I'm like fun, and again it's like a whole different person whenever I'm in the runway and then when I'm here.
But that's just being professional, right? That's just you being passionate about your craft, and you're giving everything towards that craft. And I think that's important, and that's why you're doing so well, because you're giving your 100%, and you're not like just there for the moment. You're actually embracing it. You're in it, and you want to be there. And the camera, like you say, like it's when you're in front of that camera, your whole personality, you just become a different person.
Like I'm worth being doing what I'm doing sometimes, and I feel like that comes from how I used to think before, because I always thought like I wasn't enough to do anything. Like I never had like that self-worth that I have now. Sometimes that comes back, and then like I try to go back and remember who I am, and just sometimes I'll just like look at podcasts like this a lot, and I feel like that also helps, because sometimes you feel like that self-doubt like it's still there even though you've done so much, and that helps to like look at the pictures and everything that I've done, like, oh yeah, that's me. I forget like that's how I look like, and some days you have bad days and good days, but you have those bad days to learn and to be grateful for the good days, if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. Not every day is the same day. You're not going to have the same type of confidence. You're going to have days where you're just feeling like you don't want to do anything, and there's some days when you just have the energy to go and just crush everything in front of you, and that's okay. That's how human beings are. I think we put so much of pressure on ourselves to be perfect every single day and not have anything go wrong. And when those days do come along, at least now when you've like gone through and had those traumatic experiences, it's not so bad. I am able to navigate, and I am able to come out on the other side. And nothing is permanent in life. Everything is temporary, and we know that also anxiety, depression, all the negative effects on our physical self and mental self is just temporary. We have good moments in life, and we can always turn to those good moments and say, hey, this is where I was, and now look where I am. And I've got the tools now to navigate those days quicker and get to the place where you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I feel like everything you said, I totally agree with. It's like it's you said in like the most perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, like I said, for myself as well on my journey, I had to go through a lot of those traumatic experiences to be where I am right now. Like to be in front of a camera, to be in front of, posting my socials, just trying to help somebody else. I could have never done that if I didn't work to find myself. It was very
Yeah.
hard work. It was like some days it's just, soul crushing, and it's just like despairing, and you're like emotional, but the work you're doing today will reap its rewards tomorrow, or even whenever it does. But the hard work is, a lot of people say hard work pays off. Only until
Yeah.
you actually do the hard work,
Yeah.
that's when you'll reap that reward.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people will get scared to start, or will like have that doubt, like, what if it goes wrong? But like, what if it
Yeah,
goes right? What if, I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen, to be
exactly.
honest? I feel
It's
like
what
that's,
if, right? It's the what if.
yeah, that's always gonna like
Yeah.
stop you from starting, but I feel like just start. I think that's how I did it. I mean, I never, like, growing up, I never thought I was pretty or anything like that. So it was like, what if they make fun of me? Like, what if they think like, oh, she probably thinks she's this and that. Like, I feel like moving to a different country was everything. Like, I didn't have that people to be a distraction. I didn't know anyone. So that was honestly so good. But if you still are in that place with all of that people, like, you just know like those are not the right people to be with.
Yeah, yeah. People are like, we say,
First of all, yeah.
friendships are like seasons, right?
Yeah, they always changing, and like I feel like the people that used to really like make fun of what I used to do, like now they're like, oh, you've done so much, like you've gone pretty far. Because they will. So going back, like when I was young, I was a mess. To be honest, when I was in, I think, sixth grade or seventh grade, I lost that year. Like I didn't pass the final exam of math, so I had to repeat the whole year, and that was also like a very bad experience for me. And I also put a lot of like not only for me but like for my parents. They were like, "Oh my God, you're going in such a bad route. You're not gonna be going great." Like, so I was now in the same grade as my brother, so it was like the judgment I had, it was like huge, but thank God that COVID happened. And then I was like home, and I was like this. So like I was just doing the work and doing everything, but I didn't have to really deal with the people. Like I had to like see my actual friends and classmates in another class.
Right.
It was like really hard, but at the same time, like I really, I don't know. I don't even know how I managed to go through that, but I feel like that was also a reason why I wanted to prove myself that that didn't define who I was going to be today, or where I was going. So everyone in school thought I was like a lost cause. Like I was a mess. I was always causing trouble too. So a lot of people in school are really like shocked to where I am. And like while they were in high school and doing all of that, I was in shows and in events and stuff like this. So sometimes they will write mean things to me, remember where you came from, or other ones will be like, oh, you were such a great friend, like I really miss you, let me know when you're coming back so we can meet. But whenever I was there, they were never talking to me. So
those are the same friend. Now all of a sudden that you have this presence and you have this following. Now all of a sudden you've become a person that they wanna associate with. But you know yourself that those people were never good for you in the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about it's a tough one. It's a tough one to manage, especially at a young age as well. Given that you've accomplished so much already, a lot of people can't really accept that. That you've done so well for yourself, going through what you've gone through, but it's not a projection on you. It's actually their insecurities that actually are projected. But I think you have good support. You have good grounding and good support from your mom. She's pretty a unique individual, and she gives you them. I think she gives you the confidence to be who you are, right?
Yeah, I feel like she never doubt what I was doing. And I think that's something like, in a sense, I always try to make her proud. Like whenever I was dancing, I always make sure like I get first place, so I will make her proud most of the time. That she would like my goal was like I want to make my mom proud, and so that was kind of like a way that I saw it too, because she was working so much. She didn't have all of the things she have now, so she was kind of absent in that time.
Right.
And so I was like always doing something outside of home because like I really wanted to prove her that I was doing something good. And I feel like she's always been there, like very supportive. She always trusts in what I'm doing. She never like, oh, but what if you fail? Like, what if you like miss your chance? Like, what if you're wasting these years? They're like so important. Like, why didn't you just go to a secure college and then get like a job? And I'm also very grateful for that. It's like you can see like there's more.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And I think your journey has been quite an inspirational one. I think for someone so young, you still have like, you have the world at your feet right now, and I think you're gonna go really far. And I wish you nothing but the best. And I think we're gonna see you in fashion shows and up there really
Yeah, I
soon.
really hope so. I feel like I have pretty high hopes. Yeah.
No, you should set high standards for yourself, and goals are important. And you have dreams,
Yeah.
and you should do everything you can to actually reach those dreams. And I think your journey is, like I said, like it's truly inspirational.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I just want to come back to your fashion, how you got when you got into fashion. Like, were there any like challenges like that actually, besides like the castings that where you got rejected and stuff? Like, was there anything like where you felt like, okay, this world is quite something different, and you felt a bit anxious?
Yeah, so I feel like in the fashion industry there's a lot of competition and you need to know how to stand out from everyone else better, and like I'm probably not that good to be doing this. So I'm like, no, like she's doing that, but like she doesn't have the same path as you have. So that also really helped like to see that because someone is doing more than you doesn't mean that you should be there too, because you don't have like the same life, you don't have the same path, and we all have different timings. So aside from like that struggle within myself, I was also looking at how other people was getting invites to events and I wasn't. So I was like kind of like frustrated, but I will work harder to get it, and then I will eventually get more stuff. But yeah, it is hard to stand out in an industry that's so full of like competition.
Yeah, it's
I
competitive.
feel like I'm doing something different to what I'm doing now, because I don't think I see anyone doing what I'm doing. And if they do walks, they usually do like more like basic outfits. But like what I want to do is like it's always something like shiny or something like different. So it makes it more like interesting too.
Right. And what's your personal style? What do you feel is your personal style?
Honestly, I don't know how to define it, but I will say like I always try to wear something that's like cute, like in a sense like very light colors and a lot of like mesh and a lot of like shine, a lot of like rhinestones or glitter or anything like that. I'm always wearing something like that, and I feel like it kind of depends on the day, like how I'm feeling. Because sometimes I feel like a lot like wearing black, which is completely different to what I'm usually wearing.
Right.
But I always like a very like feminine look too. Like it's very more towards that
Right.
side.
And then any designers or any companies that we probably know of that you've worked for?
I would say like mainly they're all local,
Okay.
so they're very Canadian designers. They're also like very big. They've been like in Vogue and New York and all of those places in like Fashion Week, in Toronto Fashion Week. It's like signed by Dahlia and a bunch of like French designers. I don't know how to pronounce them, to be honest. But I worked for a show for Maserati, which was also pretty big.
Oh wow.
It was like sponsored by them, and it was full of like cars. and it was pretty big, but it was very last minute. I didn't even know I was gonna walk that day, but it was like they reached me on Instagram like, oh, we'd love to have you in our show. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I went. I didn't even have to do the casting, which is great.
Okay.
Going to castings is very stressful too.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I can imagine. But you've obviously got like the experience now in castings, right?
In sense, their confidence and like somehow like the aura. I don't know how to explain it, because they're so like they, like body language is also so important.
Yeah.
So whenever I go, I try to have a good posture and like be nice and like smile to everyone and not be like super serious. And that also helps a lot, because sometimes if you're shy, you're always like crunching, like crossing your arms. That also makes you look insecure. So I always try to have that like body language and being mindful of what I'm doing, because I've seen like how it reflects on other people.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. Like, I'm pretty sure we'll see you in New York Fashion Week soon, French Fashion Week. We'll probably see you, on the runways. At least we'll say, I know that girl. No, you will. Yeah.
Thank you.
So is that the short-term goal?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Are you, and how close are you to getting into that show?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna walk this season,
Okay.
because like I will have to go for a really long time. So I'll have to go to New York for almost 2 weeks. But this time I want to go into shows and kind of like, sometimes I prefer to go into shows and see what's going on,
Right.
and kind of like analyze the place and how it all works. So after, whenever I go to castings, like I know what to do and I don't waste my time away.
Right. So would you like intern for like a fashion house, just to see how the inner workings are?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to like attend the shows and see it from the outside, but I feel like you also learn a lot just from looking at that. Like,
Right.
let's say if I want to go to a Michael Kors show,
Right.
like they walk different to a Tommy Hilfiger show, so you need to like see what type of walk each designer has, and which, like, if they chose the models, there's a reason for that. So
Right.
you wanna kind of like have something to do with what they already have, if that makes sense. Because when I went to Toronto Fashion Week for the first time, I even bought my own tickets. Like I wasn't invited just yet. That was like one of the first events I went. So when I got there, you could see like the girls that had the more like powerful and strong walk, they walked so many times, and the ones that were like more like the traditional walk, they walked just one or two shows.
Right.
So you see what like differentiates them to others.
Yeah.
It's like the first time that I went, I only walked once, and it was because I was doing like more of a normal walk. And then this time I walked like 5 times because I was doing a different walk. So you feel like you analyze how things work, and then you put them
together. I think it's like with any craft or any profession, you gotta do your research, you gotta do your homework, and see what works best for you, right?
Yeah.
You gotta practice that. I'm sure within your socials also, like your posts and stuff, like those are practicing moments. You're putting yourself out there, and you're like practicing certain like skills that they are skills, because not everybody can walk a runway, right? Not everybody's confident enough to be in that space. So I think you've got the right attitude, you've got the right mind and presence, and you've got the right stuff to actually go really far. And you rarely see people who are actually driven into their craft, and I think you're one of those people who actually like will get very far. Like, just honestly speaking, that's just my view of it.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's so nice to hear when people are like saying that to me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, you've come a long way, and you've like really passionate about your craft, and I think you have the world at your feet, and I think you're going to be really, really a force to reckon with, actually.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, you will. So like I like to do this at the end of my shows and ask like, okay, what's next? What do you see? What's next for Bridget?
Right now I want to work in new things and like experience more stuff. So that's why I'm gonna take the leap to go into New York without knowing anything. Not only that, but I want to start doing more clothes on my own because every time I get something, I need to tailor it. Every time, nothing ever like fits me how I want it to fit. Or whenever I see something, I will change it. So I think for me, I want to try to do a little bit of like more designs
Right.
that too, and kind of like right now, I really want talking to my audience so we can like connect better too.
Yeah, yeah. It's a challenging one because I think I struggle with that as well. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, what do I say? And then I don't put it out because I'm like procrastinate about it. But then I feel to myself, okay, I have something on my mind. I'm just going to say it. However it comes out, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And the more you do, the more you speak, or the more posts you put out like that, the more confidence you get, and the better you become.
Yeah, and after it becomes natural.
Yeah.
Like the more you do it, the easier it will get. So.
Yeah, 100%. No, but thank you so much for your time, Briget, and I wish you all the best. Can't wait to see you. See what's next for you, and guys, please do me a favor and go and subscribe to Bridget's socials. Show her your love. And yeah, until the next one. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.